December 31st, 1999, Boris Yeltsin walked away from it all. The presidency, the power, the prestige.
Today, on the last day of the departing century, I am resigning.
His staff and the nation were in shock. But Yeltsin, in his memoirs, says, "To my surprise, I realized I was in a good mood, a very good, cheerful mood." He handed over the so-called nuclear suitcase, which controls Russia's missiles, to his hand-picked successor, Vladimir Putin. "Now I was no longer responsible for the nuclear suitcase and the nuclear button," he wrote. "Maybe I would finally get rid of my insomnia." And so the man whom many accused of being addicted to power was now a pensioner. And he began recording his memoirs for a third and last autobiography, which he would call in Russian Presidential Marathon. But he stayed away from politics. His old friend Bill Clinton visited him at his country dacha. He met occasionally with the new Russian President Vladimir Putin, not as an advisor, he said, but as someone to talk with who knows a lot. He criticized Mr. Putin for bringing back the old Soviet anthem. He said he regretted leaving two difficult decisions to Mr. Putin, whether to remove Lenin's body from its mausoleum on Red Square and whether to outlaw the Communist Party. At the height of his Kremlin power, Boris Yeltsin told CNN he's not concerned about his role in history.
Concerning history, I want to dispense with that issue immediately. I am not thinking about history at all, and I'm not planning on thinking about it. I'm thinking about deeds.
But Boris Yeltsin now is part of history. More than 3/4 of his countrymen think the Yeltsin era brought Russia more bad than good. Political observers see two sides to Boris Yeltsin.
He will be remembered as a very talented, very gifted politician, but a hopeless statesman. He knew how to get to power. He knew how to keep in power, but he didn't know quite well what to do with the power that he had.
Another man who once ruled the Kremlin calls Yeltsin power-hungry.
Of course he was no Democrat. He came to power adjusting his point of view, deceiving, saying he's against privileges, a great Democrat. He climbed up on a tank, but it was all deception.
Boris Yeltsin, in his last book, saw it differently. "I gave it my all," he writes. "I put my whole heart and soul into running my presidential marathon. I honestly went the distance. If I have to justify anything, here is what I will say. If you think you can do it better, just try. Run those 40,000 kilometers. Try to do it faster, better, more elegantly, or more easily. Because I did it." Jill Dougherty, CNN, Moscow.